Hello and welcome to another Stellar Game video. Today we're going to be doing a kids craft, a simple market tent. To start off with, we are going to use some foam core for the base, and we're measuring it out 3 by 3. So now we're using a knife to bevel the edges. Now we're using some wooden skewers, and we're gonna make them into a post kind of shape. Now we're using hot glue to glue it down to the base, and don't worry about the hot glue melting the foam core. Now we're doing the sides with some more wooden skewers. Now we are doing the skewers across to keep the tent up. And don't worry about keeping it perfectly. We will snip those off later. So now we are doing the cross supports, and I was just doing this method with my dad, and this might need some adult help. Now we are snipping off the excess, and I had to use one that was a little more usable for kids. Now we are putting some glue on the corner and wrapping it around with some string. And there it is for the finished product. Now we are putting glue on the base and just spreading it around with a simple paintbrush. Now we are dumping sand on, and now we're just gonna put some glue on the bottom to keep it from warping. Now we are doing a black wash with Mod Podge Black. Now we are using a dark brown for the base coat. Now make sure to check around the edges. I found a lot of areas that I missed. And now we are using a lighter brown to dry brush. And don't worry about going really light, but I had to do it pretty heavy because my brown was pretty dark. Now we're using a tannish brown to do the highlights of the rope. And here is dry brushing again. Now we are using it for the sand just to pick up some highlights. So now we are putting some glue on the wooden crossbars, and that green mixture is some water and glue and with green ink. And we're using Kleenex, and we're just draping it over. So now we are using some popsicle sticks to make the shelf of the market tent. And we are measuring it out to 1.5 inches, and now we're cutting it out. Now we are just cutting out the shelves, and we're gluing them on with hot glue. And there's the shelf. Now we are making the table out of foam, and we're using the hot wire cutter. Now we're just cutting out the other end, and make sure to use adult supervision. Now we're using a pencil to do the wood grain, and just make sure not to go too liney, but make sure to give it a little wave. Now we're using the black Mod Podge again, and to give it a black base coat. Now we are using a darker brown to give it the base coat brown. Now we're giving it a lighter brown as the dry brush. Now we are gluing the beads onto the shelf, and I used tacky glue because it was stronger than white glue, and we had to use pliers to glue them in. Now we are using some hot glue to glue in the table and the shelf. Now we're just gluing on some extra beads, and there it is. Now we are putting some glue around the corners to cover up some of the green spots from the tent. Now we are using some parsley, and we are just covering it to make it look like leaves. So there's the finished product, and comment down below what you think of it, and subscribe, and make sure to hit the like button. Thank you.